Hey, what's up, guys? Rich here, Legacy Adventures. Long time, no talk, no chat. Um, Something came to my attention I want to just make a quick video about, and the reason why you guys will see in a second, because it really is ironic for me, and I felt like I needed to make one more video and kind of tie all this together, how it's kind of came full circle for me. Okay. Um, if you guys notice on my channel, the very first video I ever made was titled, right here it is, Why the Forrest Fin Treasure Might Not Be in Yellowstone. Here it is. As embarrassing as that is, it's about 11-minute video. I listened to this again last night, and like most of my videos, I cringe on. Well, not most of my videos, but lots of my videos I cringe because, like most of us, I was nowhere close. But this one in particular really kicked me in the teeth, because I never had a shot. I discounted Yellowstone from the very beginning. And the reason why I did, and here's why I thought about this yesterday. There are people, based on all the evidence, I will still say it's circumstantial because we haven't had anyone flat out come out and say it, like, you know, like just say it. But kind of denying that's in Yellowstone right now is tough because in essence, you're denying just so many things that just point to it being in Yellowstone. Not just kind of little things as a stretch. We're talking about things that are just obvious. All right. Whenever you start dealing with law and lawyers and stuff like that, you know, they're you know what I'm trying to say. Basically, it takes the people that aren't admitting that was in Yellowstone right now. You'll notice have a vested interest 99% of the time, and they're still stuck on their solve. Okay, anyone that's just not stuck on their solve will are looking at it rationally and thinking, okay, it was in Yellowstone. I'm not going to go over all the reasons why. You guys, if anyone listening to this video, can go look at all the stuff, all the videos talking about what's been said, the Zoom call with Forrest and what's his name, the guy who found it, and the park ranger and all this stuff. To say that Yellowstone's involved at that level for any other reasons, just again, uh, it takes a stretch. That said, you know what, and I don't look down on those people even now because if they want, uh, if they feel like they need someone to come out and flat out say it before they feel like better moving on, that's fine. Now let's focus on me. Someone had brought up this quote yesterday, and they brought it up as basically proof that it wasn't in Yellowstone. And the reason why I bring it up because it's the exact quote that I used to make my video. All right, and here it is from Forrest, and it basically says, I actually put it in Word just so. It says, generally speaking, there are places where one should stay on established trails. Yellowstone is one. However, it reminds me of the old worn-out maxim: if you ain't the lead dog, the scenery never changes. While I am in the mountains or in the desert, the last place I want to be is on a trail. Ain't no adventure in that for me. There isn't a human trail in very close proximity to where I hid the treasure. F. Okay, so this is a huge quote. And for years, guys, I used it as proof that it wasn't Yellowstone. And then yesterday, when I heard someone reference it as proof, I thought about it again. And I kind of just looked at it again. Looked at it based on all the new information that we have, right? All the new information. With me assuming it is in Yellowstone. So how could he have said this? Right? And then it just makes me feel so stupid. Okay, because he starts out the quote by saying generally speaking. Generally speaking. All right, so I pulled up quotes for generally speaking, and you can kind of go through this if you want on your own. in this case, this is what it means. This is what they're talking. This is how he's using it. The rule, principle, etc. True for almost all or most cases. So this is exactly how Forrest is using generally speaking, in this quote. True for all or most cases. I think you can agree with that. So true for almost all cases, there are places where one should stay on established trails. Yellowstone is one. This word right here, guys, is the big one. However, why does he say however? What does however mean? When someone uses that in a sentence, what does however mean? Used to introduce a statement that contrasts with or seems to contradict something that has been said previously. Read it again. Used to introduce a statement that contrasts with or seems to contradict something that has been said previously. So Forrest said, generally speaking, there are places where one should go without established trails. Yellowstone is one of them. However, it reminds me of old worn out maxim. Guys, if you go by definition, this quote does the exact opposite of what I took it as and what I know many, many people have taken it as. And it's just shocking to me. There's no reason to use however. Because he uses Yellowstone specifically, right? And then he uses however. Guys, he's telling us it's in Yellowstone. If he were to say, generally speaking, there are places where one should stay on established trails, national parks are one of them. However, right? If he were to say that, saying however wouldn't give it away. The fact that he uses Yellowstone specifically in this and uses generally and then follows up with however, the only way to take this is to take it as him saying it's in Yellowstone off trails. And then he goes, and then if you want to just kind of doubt it even more, he then goes on to give you the last little bit of proof that this is what he means. When I'm in the mountains or in the desert, the last place I want to be is on a trail. Ain't no adventure in that for me. So basically, he's saying right there, he's giving even more proof that Yellowstone was it. I just wish I could go back in time. And, that was 3 years ago when I did that video. 3 years. It was on October 25th, 2018. If I would have came to this conclusion that many 3 or 4 years ago, what would have happened? Who would have, what could be the possibilities? Who knows? But I think for me, based on all the proof of it being in Yellowstone, so now and being able to look at this quote and know he how could he say that, right? If it was in Yellowstone, now breaking it down, it makes complete sense. This man told us it was in Yellowstone, basically. This was a humongous slip up. Humongous. This is a man that told us to get a dictionary out and look for definitions of words. And somehow a guy like me took it as him saying this, basically Yellowstone is one of them, but with all these other contradictions within the same quote. Just insane to me. So that's it, guys. I want to touch on that. It was in Yellowstone. It is in Yellowstone. And the 9 Mile Hole solution, I hear people say that how could the poem point to that? I don't get that either because, that poem before the treasure was found led people to thousands of different locations, right? We can agree on that. And everyone thought they could be right. So why, after the fact, can you say that the poem, how in the world could it lead to 9 Mile Hole? It 100% can be read to lead to 9 Mile Hole. 100%. I mean, I don't get that. I just don't get it. Um, of course, if you don't think it's a 9 mile hole and you have another solution still, you're going to think that it's not. But for those of us that have, don't have any more solutions, that is taking all everything as is, then it makes complete sense. Um, I'm trying to think about anything else to add before this will be the last video I ever do on this. I for sure. I did a video for years. Um, I think that Forrest. I think the rules changed. I think the laws changed. And I'm not going to get. I forget what it's a Supra or whatever it is. I think that changed things in 2016. I believe 2017. So I think Forrest did do his due diligence to some degree. But I think we all overestimated Forrest, okay, and his ability to make it perfect. I think in the end, Forrest didn't really give a shit, and this argument that you know it's illegal and it's put, it's the park's going to go after him and go after his family and all that stuff. You know what, Forrest in the end has figured it out. All right. We will eventually get 100% confirmation that it wasn't Yellowstone. And there'll be people that doubt it no matter what we get, because that's the way the chase is. We all know somebody still that thinks that it's wrong and their solution's right, that Jack is made up and all this stuff. But the reality of it is, at the end, towards the end of Forrest's life, he figured out a way to make it work. And how do why would you doubt that? Forrest, love him or hate him, Forrest his entire life, that's exactly what he did. He was a salesman. He got stuff done. He willed people to his what he wanted. And at the end of the day, he figured it out, and that's a fact. And whether it's wrong for other people to be convicted of it being Yellowstone and all that good stuff, I agree with that, but it is what it is. So I just want to make a quick video on this. That quote is incredible at this point in retrospect, and it's really incredible for me, especially since, ironically, it was the very first video my dumb ass made about the chase. So,